Student, welcome in today's lecture. In this lecture, we will see the last part from this topic, that is regulation of gene expression. Okay, regulation of gene expression. So this is the regulation of gene expression. See, what is meant by the regulation of gene expression. But before that, we will see what are these two words. The regulation and gene expression means what is the gene regulation and gene expression. So this gene regulation, okay, gene regulation and the gene expression, these are the two terms, okay. And in this, the gene express in the sense where the genes are situated. The genes are situated over the DNA strand, and they are having the several nucleotide in length. Okay, that means we have defined in previous lecture what is the gene. Gene means it is the segment of DNA, or it is a piece of DNA, or that piece or segment. It is formed from the certain pair of the nucleotide sequence. Okay, means the certain number of the nucleotide sequence they forms the one gene. So what is the gene expression? This first one, the gene expression. What is the gene expression? Gene expression, okay, means gene they express through the polypeptide synthesis. Okay, polypeptide synthesis, it is called as a gene expression. Okay, gene expression means you know that suppose this is the DNA, okay, DNA, and what they form first, the DNA, they synthesize the mRNA, okay, you know that, and the nucleotide sequence of the mRNA. We have to say the codon sequence of mRNA. By using the codon sequence of mRNA, what is synthesized in the cell cytosol, there will be a synthesis of the protein. So formation of protein from that DNA segment, it is called as a gene expression. Okay, gene expression. So you have to remember. Then the next word, what is the gene regulation? So the gene regulation, okay, gene regulation. What is the gene regulation? The gene regulation means they synthesize protein, okay, synthesize protein, they regulate the various biochemical reaction in the cell or in the body of that organism. It is called as gene regulation. And you know that what is the result of that gene regulation means that organism, they show that type of the phenotypic expressions. Okay, and each and every organism, they shows its own phenotypic expression. So because of that, we observed the diversification, or we observed the biodiversity, okay, among the living being. So this is the thing. Then question arises, uh, just we have mentioned here the gene expression means the protein synthesis, means that gene they take part in protein synthesis. You know that, student, in case of eukaryote, how the gene expression it is seen. The gene expression it is seen at the various levels. Okay, so what are those levels? You are aware with that all levels we have seen in protein synthesis. The first level, it is transcriptional level. Okay, transcriptional level, and in that transcriptional level, what is synthesized? There will be a synthesis of the primary transcript, means we call to that it is the heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Okay, so this is the first step of the gene expression. Then the second step, or the level of gene expression, it is the processing of the primary transcript. Okay, and it is takes place at the splicing level. Okay, means the splicing of the intron sequence. That sequence, it is not take part in polypeptide synthesis. So we have seen that. Then the third level, of the gene expression, it is the transport of mRNA in the cell cytosol. This is the third level of gene expression. And what is the fourth level of the gene expression? That is the translation process. It is takes place inside the cell cytosol, and at the end of the translation process, what we have? We have the protein molecule. So all those things, it is seen in case of eukaryote, means the gene expression. It is seen in eukaryote through the four levels. Okay, through the four levels. But as per your syllabus, I want to give you the one example. Suppose you know that the bacteria, they are sensitive about its surrounding environment, or with respect to that, the surrounding environment. So what happened? The one thing is given. Suppose this bacteria, okay, bacteria, it is placed in a one nutrient medium. Okay, so suppose this is the nutrient medium as usual. This is the nutrient medium, and in that nutrient medium, the bacteria, they are placed. Okay, bacteria, they are placed. Then what happens, student, when we add the lactose in the nutrient medium? Okay, lactose in the nutrient medium, what happen? The bacteria, they give response with respect to that added the lactose in the nutrient medium. Okay, so because of that, what happened? That bacteria, they immediately synthesize the enzyme, okay, enzyme beta galactosidase. Okay, they immediately synthesize the enzyme beta galactosidase, because this beta galactosidase enzyme, it is utilized for the metabolism of this lactose which are present inside the nutrient medium. So such a type of the response, it is seen in the bacteria, and that type of the response, it is because of the impact of the outermost environmental condition. So such a type of the gene expression, it is due to the presence of the external environmental factor. Okay, external environmental factor, or due to change in the external physiological condition. That bacteria, they give response in the sense they immediately synthesize the beta galactosidase enzyme. So this beta galactosidase enzyme, you know that beta galactosidase enzyme, it is utilized for the hydrolysis of this lactose, and that lactose, it is converted into the monomer, that means the glucose and galactose, and then that monomer, it is utilized for its own metabolic process. So for that, the bacteria, they synthesize immediately the beta galactosidase enzyme. So such a type of gene expression, who regulate this such type of gene expression? The environment, they regulate this such type of gene expression. Means what is present in the outermost environment? Okay, what is present in the outermost environment? That thing they induce the gene expression in the bacteria. So what happens, student, here? This enzyme, it is synthesized by that bacteria. This enzyme, it is called as a inducible enzyme. This enzyme, it is called as inducible enzyme. So why these are called as a inducible enzyme? Because this enzyme, it is synthesized in response to the inducer. So what is that inducer? The inducer means the added lactose, it acts as an inducer in the outermost environment of bacteria, and that inducer, they induce the synthesis of enzyme inside the bacterial cell. So because of that, whatever the enzyme, it is synthesized in the presence of inducer in the outermost medium, that enzyme, it is called as an inducible enzyme. So then these enzymes are synthesized, but what happened just before that? In the presence of that, the inducer, the gene responsible for synthesis of enzyme, that gene, they get switch on. Okay, so that gene, they receive signal to switch on that type of the signal, it is called as the induction. Okay, that type of signal, it is called as induction. So, these sets of genes switch on in presence of inducer in the outermost nutrient medium. It is called as the induction. So, remember, the who provide the induction, the inducer provide the induction. Then question arises, what is the inducer? What is the inducer? The inducer means this is the small molecule, okay, and which acts as inducer. The lactose, it acts as a small molecule. They are responsible for induction, means the molecule which is responsible for induction, it is called as the inducer. Okay, it is called as the inducer. So student, you remember these terms. These terms will be asked in your MCQs. What is the inducible enzyme? Okay, then what is it mean by the induction? Induction means in the presence of inducer, that gene they get switch on. And what is the inducer? The inducer means the smallest molecule. They provide the induction. Okay, they provide the induction. So you remember these three terms: inducible enzyme, induction, and inducer. Okay, then student, in case of the prokaryote, what happened or what is seen with respect to this gene expression and gene regulation, that part now we will see that. Remember, in case of the eukaryote, uh, the mRNA is there. That mRNA, it is monocystonic, and they follow the gene expression through the 4 level. But in case of prokaryote, the mRNA, it is a polycystonic. Okay, and that polycystonic mRNA, it is produced from the structural gene, and that structural gene, they are having the more than one cistron. Okay, more than one cistron. That structural gene, it is a polycystonic. So how the gene sequence or the structure of gene present in case of the prokaryote, that part we are going to study now with the help of the operon. So now we will see the structure of operon or characteristic feature of the operon now. Okay. So let's see student, what is the structure of operon, or what is the operon concept? Okay. Operon concept, or we have to say what is the structure of operon. Okay, what is the structure of operon? So what does it mean by the operon? Operon means it is no doubt student, this operon I want to make clear here. The operon where it is present, okay, it is present in case of the prokaryote. Okay, prokaryote, and it is absent in case of the eukaryote. Okay, then what is meant by the operon? The operon means it is a group of gene having related function. Okay, means the gene which are present sequentially as such a group of gene having related function. Means suppose what is meant by the operon, this is the DNA segment, and on this DNA these are the genes. Suppose this is the first gene, this is the second gene, this is the third gene. So such a group of gene, okay, group of gene, they are having the related, okay, related function. Group of gene having related function. Such a group of gene means it is the operon. Okay, such a group of gene means it is the operon. So always remember this. This is a gene present over the DNA. Suppose this is a DNA segment, and these are the gene. Suppose this is the one gene, second gene, third gene. Such a group of gene, they are having the related function in metabolism. Such a group of gene, it is called as a operon. Such a operon, only it is present in case of the prokaryote and it is absent in case of eukaryote. So I want to give you the one example. In case of E. coli type of bacteria, they are having near about the 260 genes. So in case of, okay, in E. coli type of bacteria, they are having the 260 genes. Okay, they are having the 260 genes, and that 260 genes they are grouped into these 75 different operons. Okay, it is grouped into these 75 different operons. Okay, 75 different operons. So what is that the structure of operon and how they work? Okay, so let's say student, I want to show you what is actual the structure of operon. See, suppose this is the template strand of DNA. Okay, so this is the DNA template. Okay, this is the DNA template strand. As usual, they are having this is the 3' end and this is the 5' end. Okay. Then this operon, what type of the structure they have, or what type of the parts they have, we have to say. This towards this 3' end, okay, suppose we can show like this way. This is the DNA template strand, and then towards one side they show the presence of the regulatory gene. Okay, they show the presence of the regulatory gene, or that gene, it is also called a repressor gene. So this is the regulatory gene, or this is also called as the repressor gene. Okay, so this sequence, it is a regulatory gene sequence, or this is the repressor gene sequence. Okay, then it is followed by the presence of the promoter gene sequence. So this is the after the some nucleotide in length, they are the promoter gene sequence. Okay, promoter gene sequence. Okay, then promoter gene sequence, it is followed by the presence of the operator gene sequence. Okay, this is the operator gene sequence. Then operator gene sequence, it is followed by the structural gene sequence. So this is the structural gene sequence. Okay, this is the structural gene sequence, and in that structural gene we have mentioned in case of the prokaryote, the structural gene they are having the more than one cistron, so they are polycistronic. So they have to produce the polycistronic mRNA. That part you are aware with. Okay, so this structural gene, they are having the more than one cistron. So what are those cistrons? That gene sequence, it is called as a Z gene sequence. Then the next to that, this is the Y gene sequence, and this is the A gene sequence. Means ZYA. Okay, this sequence we can write this in capital letter. Okay, A gene sequence, Z, Y, and A gene sequence, and these are the group of gene. Okay, from this structural gene, it shows the 3 cistron units, and these 3 cistron units, these are called as a group of gene. Okay, so Z, Y, A, these are the group of gene having related function. So it is called as a operon. Okay, and this operon, they are having these controlling units, that is operator gene sequence, then promoter gene sequence, and it is followed by the regulatory gene sequence. See student, what is the function of these, all these, in case of this operon, or with respect to this operon concept? See, this regulatory gene, what they do there, they have to produce the repressor protein. okay, repressor protein. This regulatory gene, it is also called as a repressor gene. So what they produce? They produce the repressor protein, okay, repressor protein. And this repressor protein, what is the function of the repressor protein? This repressor protein, they are having its ability to bind at the operator site. Means that repressor protein, okay, that repressor protein, we have to say this is the structure of repressor protein, and that repressor protein, they are having the affinity with the operator site or that operator gene. When it is formed, they immediately bind to the operator gene. Okay. Then this promoter gene, you know that what is the function of this promoter gene sequence? We have seen during the transcription, or we have seen there what is the role of that promoter gene sequence. The RNA polymerase enzyme, they bind there. So it is a binding site of the RNA polymerase enzyme. So that RNA polymerase enzyme, it is required for the transcription of this structural gene. You know that. This promoter gene sequence, it is the binding site of the RNA polymerase enzyme. Okay, RNA polymerase enzyme. Then you know that when it is bind, then they move further all along the length of this structural gene, and what they do there? They do the transcription of structural gene. Okay, so this is the promoter gene sequence, and what is the function of that? The promoter gene sequence. Then it is followed by this structural gene. Actually, this is the operon. It is formed from the three genes, that is Z gene, Y gene, and A gene. Okay, then this gene, they have to produce the three different types of the mRNAs. Because this is a polycistronic structural gene, so they have to produce the polycistronic mRNA. In the sense, three different types of mRNA they will produce just after transcription, and this each mRNA, they have to produce the independent protein. So I want to tell you at this moment, this Z gene, they produce the beta galactosidase enzyme, and that beta galactosidase enzyme, they are responsible for the hydrolysis of the inducer molecule, that means the lactose molecule, and they convert that lactose molecule into the monomer units, and then they utilize for its own purpose. Okay, then the Y gene, they are responsible for the formation of beta galactosidase permease enzyme, and that permease enzyme, they allow the entry of that the lactose molecule inside the cell. Means they form the pore to that bacterial cell, and through that pore they uptake the outermost lactose molecule. Okay, and they use further. Okay, then this next one, the A gene, it is responsible for the what they do there. It is responsible for the synthesis of one enzyme. That enzyme, it is the trans-acetylase enzyme, and that trans-acetylase enzyme, what they do there, they transfer the acetyl group from the acetyl coenzyme A towards the beta galactosidase enzyme, and because of that, the beta galactosidase enzyme, they kept active throughout this process. So because of the interrelationships of these three genes, and they are present over this DNA template in a series, and they are having its interrelated function, such a group of gene, it is called as the operon. So how this operon they work? It was given by these scientists Jacob and Monod in 1961, and they explained there the regulatory mechanism of the operon responsible for the utilization of lactose in the nutrient medium. It is also called as a lac operon, means utilization of lactose in the nutrient medium. According to the scientists Jacob and Monod, so now we will see, according to the scientists Jacob and Monod, how operons works for the utilization of lactose in the nutrient medium. So see, the working of operon according to the scientists Jacob and Monod. Okay, so let's see. इथे जॅकोब आणि मुनॉडने काय केलं, एक न्यूट्रियंट मीडियम तिथे घेतलं आणि न्यूट्रियंट मीडियममध्ये, ओके, न्यूट्रियंट मीडियममध्ये त्या ज्या ई कोली टाईप ऑफ बॅक्टेरिया आहेत, ओके, कोणत्या बॅक्टेरिया वापरल्या, ई कोली टाईप ऑफ बॅक्टेरिया, ओके, ई कोली टाईप ऑफ बॅक्टेरिया. ह्या बॅक्टेरिया ह्या न्यूट्रियंट मीडियममध्ये त्यांनी ह्या बॅक्टेरिया इथं टाकल्या, बरोबर आहे. आता याच्यामध्ये काय होतं आहे सुरुवातीला हे लक्षात घ्या. हा बॅक्टेरियामधला DNA चं टेम्पलेट स्ट्रँड आहे, ओके. नॉर्मली इन ॲब्सेन्स ऑफ लॅक्टोज, बरोबर आहे, याच्यामध्ये लॅक्टोज ॲब्सेंट आहे, बरोबर. लॅक्टोज हे न्यूट्रियंट मीडियममध्ये टाकलेलं नाही, ओके. त्यावेळेस इथं काय होतं की हा जो रिप्रेसर जीन आहे, ओके, हा कुठला जीन आहे, हा रिप्रेसर जीन आहे. तो रिप्रेसर जीनचं ट्रान्स्क्रिप्शन होतं आणि रिप्रेसर mRNA फॉर्म होतं, ओके. याला आपण रेग्युलेटरी जीनही असं म्हणतो, बरोबर आहे. हा रिप्रेसर mRNA फॉर्म होतो आणि रिप्रेसर mRNAचं ट्रान्सलेशन होतं आणि काय तयार होतं, रिप्रेसर प्रोटीन तयार होतं. सो दिस इज द रिप्रेसर प्रोटीन. याच्या अगोदर आपण पाहिलं होतं की याच्या फंक्शन्समध्ये किंवा स्ट्रक्चरमध्ये आपण ते पाहिलेलं आहे, बरोबर. हे रिप्रेसर प्रोटीन, पण हे रिप्रेसर प्रोटीन कसं आहे, इट इज ॲक्टिव्ह रिप्रेसर प्रोटीन. हे ॲक्टिव्ह रिप्रेसर प्रोटीन आहे आणि मी मगाशी सांगितलं होतं की याला कुणाची अफिनिटी असते, तर याला ऑपरेटरची अफिनिटी असते. मग हे रिप्रेसर प्रोटीन तयार झाल्याबरोबर हे ऑपरेटर जीन सिक्वेन्सच्या तिथे जाऊन तिथं अटॅच होतं, ओके. अटॅच झाल्यामुळं ऑपरेटर साईट ही काय होते, ब्लॉक, इट ब्लॉक्स द ऑपरेटर, ओके, इट ब्लॉक्स द ऑपरेटर. आता इथं काय होणार आहे की प्रमोटर जीन सिक्वेन्सचं फंक्शन काय, की इथे RNA पॉलिमरेज एन्झाईम काय होतं, अटॅच होतं आणि त्या RNA पॉलिमरेज एन्झाईम हे जे स्ट्रक्चरल जीन आहे ह्या स्ट्रक्चरल जीनचं ट्रान्स्क्रिप्शन करतं, बरोबर आहे. म्हणजे RNA पॉलिमरेज एन्झाईम हे पुढे सरकतं आणि स्ट्रक्चरल जीनचं ट्रान्स्क्रिप्शन करतं, बरोबर आहे. म्हणजेच त्याच्यापासून mRNA हा तयार होतो. हे आपल्याला माहिती आहे नॉर्मल प्रोसेसमध्ये, ओके. परंतु इथे काय की RNA पॉलिमरेज एन्झाईम जर इथे प्रमोटर जीन सिक्वेन्सला अटॅच झाला तर RNA पॉलिमरेज एन्झाईम पुढे सरकेल का, तर पुढे सरकणार नाही, कारण त्याच्या पुढे ऑब्स्टॅकल हा कोणी निर्माण केलेला आहे, तर ह्या ॲक्टिव्ह रिप्रेसर प्रोटीनने ऑब्स्टॅकल निर्माण केलेलं आहे. त्याच्यामुळं हे RNA पॉलिमरेज एन्झाईम इथं जरी अटॅच झालं तर ते पुढे ते काय करत, ते पुढे मूव्ह होत नाही. म्हणजेच काय होतं की हा स्ट्रक्चरल जीन हा ॲक्टिव्ह होत नाही. देर इज अ इनॲक्टिवेशन ऑफ स्ट्रक्चरल जीन, म्हणजे त्याचं ट्रान्स्क्रिप्शन आणि ट्रान्सलेशन होत नाही, ओके. सो देर इज अ इनॲक्टिवेशन ऑफ स्ट्रक्चरल जीन, दॅट मीन्स देर इज नो सिंथेसिस ऑफ mRNA. हे तुमच्या लक्षात आलेलं असेल, ओके. आता पुढे या पुढच्या डायग्रॅममध्ये काय केलेलं आहे की पुढच्या डायग्रॅममध्ये इथे न्यूट्रियंट मीडियममध्ये लॅक्टोज टाकलेलं नाही. आत्ता त्याने पुढच्या डायग्रॅममध्ये जे आपण पाहणार आहे तो चेंज जो पाहणार आहे तो ऑपेरॉन कसं वर्कआउट होतं ते पाहणार आहे. याच्यासाठी याच्यामध्ये या न्यूट्रियंट मीडियममध्ये त्याने लॅक्टोज ॲड केलं, लॅक्टोज ॲड केलं त्या न्यूट्रियंट मीडियममध्ये. आपण सुरुवातीलाच बघितलं की बॅक्टेरिया ह्या कशा असतात, सेन्सिटिव्ह असतात. त्या आउटरमोस्ट इन्व्हायरमेंटमध्ये काय चेंजेस होतात त्यानुसार ते आतमध्ये बदल करतात, बरोबर आहे. म्हणजेच तिथे त्या बॅक्टेरियामधला जीन हा काय होतो, ऑन होतो, म्हणजे त्याला इंडक्शन मिळतं आणि ते इमिडिएटली रिस्पेक्टिव्ह एन्झाईम्स हे सिंथेसाइज करतं. मग ज्यावेळेस लॅक्टोज हे न्यूट्रियंट मीडियममध्ये ॲड केल्यानंतर हे लॅक्टोज हे कशाचं काम करतं, तर लॅक्टोज हे इंड्युसर इंड्युसर म्हणून हे काम करतं. आता ते कसं काम करतं ते बघा. पुन्हा सेम इथे हा रिप्रेसर जीन जो आहे किंवा रेग्युलेटरी जीन आपण म्हणतो, त्याचं काय होईल, ट्रान्स्क्रिप्शन होईल, mRNA फॉर्म होईल, बरोबर. mRNA हा रिप्रेसर mRNA, आणि त्याच्यापासून रिप्रेसर प्रोटीन फॉर्म होईल. परंतु हे रिप्रेसर प्रोटीन हे ज्यावेळेस आपण इंड्युसर ॲड करतो ह्या न्यूट्रिएंट मीडियममध्ये, इंड्युसर ॲड करतो त्यावेळेस तो इंड्युसर म्हणजे लॅक्टोजचे मॉलिक्यूल ह्या रिप्रेसर प्रोटीनला जाऊन अटॅच होतात. हे तुम्हाला इथे दिसतं आहे. दिस इज द लॅक्टोज मॉलिक्यूल. ओके, दे आर अटॅच टू दिस रिप्रेसर प्रोटीन. त्याच्यामुळं ह्या रिप्रेसर प्रोटीनचा हा शेप बदलतो आणि तिथे ते कसं होतं, दे गेट इनॲक्टिवेटेड. सो दिस इज द इनॲक्टिवेटेड रिप्रेसर प्रोटीन. ओके, इनॲक्टिवेटेड रिप्रेसर प्रोटीन. आणि ज्यावेळेस ते इनॲक्टिव्ह होतं त्यावेळेस दे अनेबल टू बाइंड ॲट ऑपरेटर साईड. परंतु ॲक्टिव्ह ज्यावेळेस होतं त्यावेळेस ते ऑपरेटर साईडला बाइंड होत होतं, हे लक्षात घ्या. ओके, सो दे अनेबल टू बाइंड ॲट द ऑपरेटर साईड. देन when there is no any type of the repressor protein at the operator site, म्हणजे ऑपरेटर साईट एम्प्टी आहे, त्यावेळेस ह्या प्रमोटर जीन सिक्वेन्सला काय बाइंड होईल, देर इज ए बाइंडिंग ऑफ RNA पॉलिमरेज एन्झाईम, बरोबर. RNA पॉलिमरेज एन्झाईम. आणि हे RNA पॉलिमरेज एन्झाईम हे काय होईल, पुढे मूव्ह होईल आणि त्याच्यामुळं काय होणार आहे, देर इज अ ट्रान्स्क्रिप्शन ऑफ दिस स्ट्रक्चरल जीन, बरोबर. देर इज अ ट्रान्स्क्रिप्शन ऑफ दिस स्ट्रक्चरल जीन. सो द स्ट्रक्चरल जीन they undergo the transcription. Okay, then when the structural gene they undergo the transcription, and you know that this structural gene, it is a polycistronic. Okay, it is a polycistronic because they are not having the only one gene, they are having the three types of gene, Z, Y, A gene. So they produce the three types of the mRNA. So from the Z gene this segment is produced, from the Y gene this segment is produced, from the A gene this segment is produced. Then such a polycistronic mRNA, when they undergo the translation, okay, a translation, okay, when they undergo the translation, what happen, they produce the enzymes. Means 3 mRNA पासून 3 एन्झाईम्स फॉर्म होतात. पहिल्या झेड जीन पासून बीटा गॅलेक्टोसाइडेज एन्झाईम फॉर्म होतं, की जे बीटा गॅलेक्टोसाइडेज एन्झाईम लॅक्टोजचं कन्व्हर्शन ग्लुकोज आणि गॅलेक्टोजमध्ये करतं, बरोबर आहे. म्हणजेच तिथे त्याला मोनोमर मिळतो. ओके, आणि त्याच्यानंतर इथे ट्रान्स ॲसिटिलेज जे एन्झाईम आहे ते काय करतं, ॲसिटिल ग्रुप हा ॲसिटिल कोएन्झाईम ए पासून रिमूव्ह करतं आणि कंटिन्युअसली बीटा गॅलेक्टोसाइडेजला प्रोव्हाइड करतं. म्हणजे बीटा गॅलेक्टोसाइडेज हे ॲक्टिव्ह राहतं, हे लक्षात घ्या. आणि त्याच्यानंतर थर्ड जे एन्झाईम आहे की जे आपण सेकंड पोझिशनला इथं मेन्शन केलेलं आहे की परमिएज एन्झाईम. हे परमिएज एन्झाईमचं काम आपल्याला सुरुवातीलाच पाहायला मिळतं की ज्यावेळेस लॅक्टोज आपण न्यूट्रिएंट मीडियममध्ये ॲड करतो त्यावेळेस ॲड केलेल्या लॅक्टोज ह्या बॅक्टेरियाच्या सेलमध्ये, म्हणजे ही बॅक्टेरियाची सेल आहे आणि ह्या बॅक्टेरियाच्या सेल वॉल आणि सेल मेम्ब्रेनला पोअर डेव्हलप करतं आणि याच्यातून हा लॅक्टोज मॉलिक्यूल हा आतमध्ये घेतला जातो. ओके, दे अलाव दॅट लॅक्टोज मॉलिक्यूल इनसाइड द सेल, मीन्स दे अपटेक दॅट लॅक्टोज मॉलिक्यूल फ्रॉम द आउटरमोस्ट न्यूट्रिएंट मीडियम. And then it is followed by the activity of beta galactosidase enzyme, and it is followed by the activity of the side by side the trans acetylase enzyme. So याच्यावरून तुमच्या लक्षात येत असेल की हे तिन्ही ही जीन की जे एका सिरीजमध्ये आहेत ते तिन्ही जीन एकमेकाला मदत करतात आणि त्याच्यामुळं लॅक्टोजचं युटिलायझेशन हे होतं. म्हणजे लॅक्टोज हा रॉ मटेरियल म्हणून किंवा आपण आपल्या भाषेमध्ये म्हणू की फूड मटेरियल म्हणून बॅक्टेरिया करून युटिलाइज केला जातो फॉर जनरेशन ऑफ एनर्जी, बरोबर आहे. आता याच्यामध्ये बघा, या तिघांपैकी कुठलंही एक जीनचं फंक्शन तुम्ही ऑफ करा तर लॅक्टोजचं युटिलायझेशन होईल का, होणार नाही. कोणतंही याच्यामधलं एक फंक्शन ऑफ करून बघा, लॅक्टोजचं युटिलायझेशन होणार नाही. म्हणजे इथे बॅक्टेरियामध्ये आपल्याला ग्रुप ऑफ जीन हे एकत्र तिथे काम करताना दिसतात. म्हणजे त्याचं रिलेटेड फंक्शन आपल्याला पाहायला मिळतं त्याच्या मेटाबॉलिझमसाठी. आणि म्हणूनच त्या ग्रुप ऑफ जीनला आपण काय म्हणतो, ऑपेरॉन असं म्हणतो. सो स्टुडंट, दिस इज the utilization of the lactose in the nutrient medium due to the regulatory mechanism of operon. But remember student, what happened, जसं जसं त्या न्यूट्रिएंट मीडियममधलं लॅक्टोज हे वापरत आणलं जाईल, ओके, वापरत आणलं जाईल आणि शेवटी लॅक्टोजचे मॉलिक्यूल हे संपत जातील, या न्यूट्रिएंट मीडियममधले हे संपत जातील. त्यावेळेस काय होतं, हा जो लॅक्टोज इथं रिप्रेसर प्रोटीनला, हा जो रिप्रेसर प्रोटीन इनॅक्टिव्ह केलेला आहे, ह्या रिप्रेसर प्रोटीनला जो अटॅच झालेला लॅक्टोज मॉलिक्यूल आहे तो रिमूव्ह होतो. कारण न्यूट्रिएंट मीडियममधलं काय संपलेलं असतं, लॅक्टोज हे संपलेलं असतं. त्यावेळेस लॅक्टोजचा मॉलिक्यूल हा रिप्रेसर प्रोटीनपासून वेगळा होतो आणि त्यावेळेस मग हे जे रिप्रेसर प्रोटीन आहे ते पुन्हा काय होतं, ॲक्टिव्ह बनतं, बरोबर, ॲक्टिव्ह बनतं. अँड दे इमिडिएटली स्टॉप दी ऑपेरॉन. दॅट मीन्स दिस ॲक्टिव्ह रिप्रेसर दे बाइंड टू दी ऑपरेटर साईट. अँड ज्यावेळेस द प्रॉडक्ट ऑफ रेग्युलेटरी जीन दे स्टॉप दी operon, such a type of control, it is called as a negative control. यालाच काय म्हटलं जातं, निगेटिव्ह कंट्रोल ऑफ द ऑपेरॉन. हे लक्षात घ्या, याला काय म्हटलं जातं, निगेटिव्ह कंट्रोल ऑफ द ऑपेरॉन. Okay, and what is the positive control? Remember, when we add the inducer in the nutrient medium, okay, and that inducer means that lactose molecule, they adhere to, they bind to the repressor protein and they made that repressor protein inactive and they switch on the operon. It is called as a positive control. It is called as a positive control. So always remember, the product of the regulatory gene, this product, they switch off the operon, such a type of control, it is called as a negative control. And because of the induction of the inducer inside the nutrient medium, they inactive the repressor protein and they switch on the operon. It is called as a positive control. So you have to remember what is meant by the negative control of operon and what is meant by the positive control of operon. Now student, remember, this operon, it is called as an inducible operon. So why it is called as an inducible operon? Because for the switch on of the operon, the inducer, they plays a most important role. So this operon, it is called as the inducible operon. It is called as a inducible operon. आणि हे inducible operon हे मेटाबॉलिक प्रोसेसमध्ये, मेटाबॉलिझममध्ये आपल्याला पाहायला मिळतं. आणि बेस्ट एक्झाम्पल ऑफ द इंड्युसिबल ऑपेरॉन, इट इज द लॅक ऑपेरॉन विच वॉज गिवन बाय द सायंटिस्ट जॅकोब अँड मुनॉड. परंतु लक्षात घ्या की दुसरंही एक ऑपेरॉनचा तिथे प्रकार आहे आणि तो म्हणजे रिप्रेसिबल ऑपेरॉन. आता रिप्रेसिबल ऑपेरॉन तुमच्या सिलेबसमध्ये नाही आहे, पण रिप्रेसिबल ऑपेरॉन हे असताना ते स्विच ऑन फॉर्ममध्ये असतं आणि ते कॅटाबॉलिक प्रोसेसमध्ये पाहायला मिळतं. पण ते केव्हा स्विच ऑफ होतं, ज्यावेळेस एन्झाईम दे सिंथेसाइज मोर दॅन देअर लिमिट. ॲट दॅट टाईम दॅट द रिप्रेसिबल ऑपेरॉन दे गेट स्विच ऑफ. अँड द बेस्ट एक्झाम्पल ऑफ रिप्रेसिबल ऑपेरॉन, इट इज द ट्रिप्टोफॅन सिंथेसिस. Or we have to say the tryptophan operon, it is the best example of the repressible operon. Remember, the tryptophan of the E. coli, it is the best example of the repressible operon. So remember student, there are the two types of operon. One is the inducible operon. The best example of inducible operon, it is a lac operon. And the second type of operon, it is a repressible operon, and the best example of the repressible operon, it is the tryptophan of the E. coli, and this operon, it is occurs in the anabolic pathway. So you have to remember all those things. I think student, you understand well what is meant by the gene expression and gene regulation, and how the gene get expressed and how they regulate. All those things we have seen with the help of the lac operon, which was given by the scientists Jacob and Monod during 1961. So with this student, we have completed this entire topic, molecular basis of inheritance. So now we will stop at this moment.